Hey everyone. You might remember I picked up this 3 horsepower Briggs off Facebook Marketplace a few weeks ago. My dad saw it sitting in the workshop and he said he'd like to use it. He wants to do some pressure washing at his house, and just on his driveway he's got a natural spring, so he'd like to be able to pump water from the natural spring to the pressure washer. The pressure washer uses like a reservoir where it feeds water from, so he just needs a way of getting water from the natural spring to the reservoir, and he said this would be ideal. So he's very kindly asked me if I'll get it running so he can use it. I says no problem. So what do I know about it? Well, from what I've been told, it does have spark. It's got good compression, but it doesn't fire. So potentially we're looking at a carburetor issue. I am not familiar with these Briggs pumps at all. I don't know how they work, how they connect, if there's a clutch or something in between. The reason I say that is because when you turn the engine over, it doesn't turn anything inside the pump. So either it doesn't work until it gets up to speed, or it's just not working full stop. No idea. So I'm going to do what I should do and assume that everything he said is wrong, just to sell it to me. So let's start from the beginning and check for a spark first, if I can remember where my plug spanner is. Make sure we've got a running engine, and then we'll make our way towards the pump. I've not looked or played with this at all, so you're seeing as much as I'm seeing. It's all black and sooty, but doesn't appear to be in bad shape. Just make sure we've got a good spark there. I don't know if it's got a kill switch or anything built in. No, it's just this little lever at the top to ground it out. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we got a spark there. That's a good start. In that case, I'll chuck a bit of fuel into the head and just see what's going on. Have we got any fuel in there? Don't think so. I'll just fill that up. No, I won't. I'll use some two-stroke mix. Just a little dribble in there. Having said that, before we try and turn it over, I'll check to make sure there's enough oil in there. See what state the oil's in. Yeah, there's enough in there. Doesn't look too bad. It's plenty enough to turn it over anyway. Right, I'll spin it over and see if it pops. Nothing at all. I'll put a little dribble more in there. Oops. Just in case there wasn't enough. That'll be plenty. put this on the floor, I think. It's a bit messy in here. I'm in between projects at the moment, but I shouldn't need much room to work on this. Right, try again. Brilliant. So it does fire. Good, good, good. Ooh, that don't look good. Don't think you can see what I can see in there. Try and get a bit of light in there for you. Maybe you can see a little bit. It's a bit on the rusty side in there. I think I'll have to take that off and fill it with some vinegar. Vinegar's really good for stripping out rust, sorry. Just leave it in there for a few days, and when you come to rinse it out, you'll find that the inside of your tank is like brand new again. So that's one thing we will do. Obviously, because it's that rusty, I'm not even going to bother to put any fuel in there. It's wet in there. Maybe he's oiled the air filter or something. Whoops. Okie doke. Well, let's get into the carburetor, because obviously when I take the tank off to clean the inside out, we'll take the carburetor off as well. We'll see what state. 10, 13, maybe a 12. We'll see what state the internal gaskets are in. Yeah, 12. I do have some spare gaskets for a Briggs engine I was trying to repair last year, though I decided not to use the carb and the fuel tank, so I now have all of those gaskets spare, which is good. I've got quite a few Briggs engines here, so I should buy a few sets of them anyway, really. That won't go in. How else is that? There's also one down there as well. No, that's Imperial. Well, it might have just been rounded off. So it looks like it was gold colour before it was blue. There might have been something else before that. Do-do-do. I'll put that back in the engine once the tank's off. Then we won't lose that bolt. Best way, just put the bolts back into the holes and then we won't lose them. I shouldn't need to take the exhaust off. There should be plenty of room to manoeuvre around it. I think if I did try to take it off anyway, it would just fall apart. Looks like it's seen better days. Manifold bolts off. Remove the governor linkages. Cool, higher. So we'll stick these bolts back in so we know where they are. Then we can start to dissect the carburation not apparatus. Not even a contraption. No, I don't know how you'd describe it. Oh, it sounds like there's something in it. So it might have had a bit of water in there at some point, potentially. Let's move this back a bit so we can get to the fuel tank a bit better. So we've got some room to play. What we've got screwdriver wise. Dad's doing lots of little jobs everywhere at the moment. It's never ending, which is good. Shouldn't complain. It's better than twiddling your thumbs about. This pipe connects to the engine, helps to supply fuel. Well, it doesn't have to supply fuel. It creates like a pulse from the engine. The engine creates like a pulsing pressure. And it's that pulsing pressure that activates the gaskets within the carburetor. That help draw fuel from the tank to the engine. Just in case you didn't know. See what state all of this is in. Whoop. That gasket doesn't look too bad actually. That's good. I'm just seeing if we've got any cracks anywhere. Looks a bit old like, but it looks clean. Doesn't look cracked. Usually these little rubber boots can be cracked, but this one's fine. Your choke. All in all, it looks to be in good condition. I've got one screw replaced there with an Allen screw. The tank, as I said, I will soak in vinegar, but I haven't got any, so I'll have to nip to the supermarket and pick some up. I think a couple of litres should be enough. Let's just get into this carb a bit more. No doubt it will need a clean if it's had that lovely rusty fuel flowing through it. But we may as well check the condition of the gaskets while we're heading that way. Just need my Allen keys for this one for a change. It's probably a 2mm, no, bigger than that. Try a 2.5. Yeah, it's a 2.5. I might have some of those screws spare. If not, this one seems to be working okay, so we'll continue to use it. Just adds to its story, this little life that it's been through. Might have to prise this bit off, it's a bit on the tight side. Whilst trying not to damage the gasket in case there isn't anything wrong with it. If there wasn't, there might be now. So one of those flaps isn't as flat as it should be. That's going to cause some issues. It's just sort of stuck down. So we'll replace that. Bit rusty in there. Some carburetor kits come with these springs included, some don't. If there's nothing wrong with it, I'll continue to use it. Otherwise, it looks like it's just a case of cleaning it off and blow through the jets. That should be okay. Oops. Right, need a plan. So, get this washed off, replace the gaskets, and I need to go shopping for some white vinegar. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Now I've got some vinegar. I just took what they've got left on the shelf. It's good for cleaning stainless steel as well. Like if you've got a bit of a rusty sink. Right. I'd like this to sit for at least 4 days. Ideally. I might put this in the vise actually, so it's... Yeah. Oh, I need to have a tidy up in here. Let's move some of this crap out of the way. I should... Might as well clamp it up. See how many we can fit in here. So ideally at least 4 days. I've had this sit in a tank for a couple of months before. Made it super shiny. I've got like a holding chamber up here as well, so make sure we fill that up because that is a bit rusty. The fuel is pumped out of there and into there before it goes into the carb, so it is important that that's clean as well. There's 2. I could fit probably another one in there. And probably a bit more as well. What are these? Just over 500 ml, so nearly 2 litres. Yeah, that should do. Right, so I'm going to let that sit for at least 4 days. But while we're waiting for that, I may as well order a few of these gasket sets because, you know, I've got a few engines that could do them. So order plenty spare. I'm going to need some connections as well to put on the inlet and outlet of the pump, so I may as well get those ordered as well, plus some hose. I don't think I need anything else at this point. Yep, so that should probably take about a week in total just to get everything, so I'll see you in about a week. Then when we get back, we can put the carb in the parts washer and get all this cleaned off as well, just so it's a bit nicer to work on. But yeah, until then, I shall see you in a few days, or about a week. Hey everyone, we're back working on the Briggs water pump today. As you can see, I'm in the middle of a few different projects all at once. So I've got little bits of different stuff everywhere. So where did we get to? Because I put the fuel tank into soak with some white vinegar for a while. How long has it been? I think it's about a week and a half. No idea what it's going to look like now. Let's give the bottom a scrape a bit. Nice. Yeah, nice. So that's lifted plenty of the rust. So we were doing that. Oh, and I bought a bag of diaphragm gaskets as well. I thought, well, because I've got a few Briggsy engines, I may as well get a few. I bought 10 of them. That should be enough to keep us occupied for now. So that could be replaced, which is that one there. So that's the old one. It's gone a bit hard. It's not as soft and flappy as a new one, so yeah, that definitely wanted replacing. Nice, that's not too bad. That can go straight in. Some of these gasket kits come with the extra spring, some of them don't. As you can see, this one doesn't, which is fine. Usually in most cases you're able to reuse them. That's that there. So my dad would like to use this ASAP. So that's a good reason to get this one finished. I know what parts have turned up now, so that's good. Although I'm waiting for a water filter to go on one of the hoses. That should be a few days, but before then we can still test it. So that's not a problem. Oh, that's got a ridge there. Put that one in there. And that one in there. That'll do. I hate working in a mess. I love this workshop to be all tidy, so I know where everything is. But just occasionally it gets a bit busy, you take on too much at once and then you can't find anything. And today's one of those days. But I'd like to get this finished, get the Husky blower finished as well, and then I'll have more room to work on the ruler mini bike. That doesn't want to fit in there. Has he made it fit somewhere else? It's a bit on the big side. Bugger, where's he put it? Did he put it in there? That's a bit better. So now it's really just a case of putting it back together, swill out the fuel tank, get that vinegar and water out of there, dry it off. Then I'll get the blow lamp on it as well, just to make sure all the water's gone. Put that back on the carb. Should put the pipes on it first. Now we'll probably make sure it runs first, I think. And then we can test it. Let's put that to one side a sec. So what do we want to do first? We want to get the tank ready, don't we? So let's do that. See how nasty this is. I'm trying to spit it everywhere. This will be grim. It's not too bad actually. I was expecting big chunks to come out of it. Yeah, I'd say that was the reason why this didn't want to start. Previous owner reckoned it was the carb, but I think you needed to look a bit closer to home. There's some bigger chunks. Yeah, better. I'm just going to get the brass brush as well, just to clean inside the rim of the tank, wherever that's gone. Oh, so much mess. There it is. Yeah, that'll do it. In fact, I've got a steel one somewhere. Nah, sorry, I'll use that. There it is. There it does. I'll be a bit stronger. I just want to do the inside of here, because we couldn't quite get the vinegar up to that level. It's getting hot now. Still some big chunks coming out of there, but it does look much cleaner now. I'll try and show you in a minute once it's all rinsed out. Oh, now it's getting too hot. Wow, pretty bad. Get rid of some of this rubbish. Now every time I rinse it out, I should be able to see exactly how much I've got left to get rid of. Still a fair bit. But it definitely needed doing. That's much better. That took a while. But it was worth it. It definitely needed it. Right. Let's see if I can show you inside there. At what we should be looking for. that is a million miles away from where it was. Just about seeing there. It's much better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That will run. So let's get this dried up with a blow lamp. It's really just a case of getting it warm rather than anything else. And when the water runs down to these hot corners, it will just fizzle away. So I don't want to mix any water in with the fuel, because then we'll be back to square one. Another thing you can do when trying to get the rust out of these tanks is to shove a handful of nuts and bolts in there as well. When you're shaking it around, that will help to loosen it up, loosen up the rust, and it will just fall off. That's what I should have done today, but I forgot. Just about got it all. Cool, well, I'll have a smoke while I'm waiting for that to cool down. Okie dokie, so now we can start to put it back together. I don't think there's any particular throttle control on this. It's one speed. It's either on or it's off. So we can control the throttle speed with the governor. Oh, I must have used it for something else. I think these are my favourite engines to work on. I don't know why. It's just got something about them. I don't know, is it because they're old school or something? The old flathead type? I don't know. Maybe I just like the sound of them. good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Which one's my... That's my throttle. It's wide open. So I'm gonna turn that back in. So it should have a lower idle speed then. I just want to go all the way back. Why is that? Maybe it just won't. Open, closed. Okay, right, we'll put it back together, we'll get it going, and then adjust it from there. Ooh. Get that out of my way. Maybe an idea to put those on first. I was going to wash this unit off actually, and I forgot. We'll get it running first. And then I can take it apart again and wash it. Fighting with the spring. Got trapped by it. Let's put the bottom one on first. Sorry, you're probably just getting a horrible view of the pump just there. Let's try and get this bolt in under here. There we go. And whack these in. There's one.